Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back. Let's get into it.
Well, we have some breaking news for you now. The Israeli Security Cabinet has just approved plans for the military occupation of Gaza City after a meeting lasting several hours. That's according to Israeli media. But we're still awaiting confirmation from the Prime Minister's office. Well, earlier, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he wanted a complete takeover of the Gaza Strip, but the cabinet seems to have approved a plan to fully occupy just Gaza City, which is in the northern part.
I'm not really surprised. They've been saying this for a long time that, yeah, we want to occupy everything, we want to be free from all terrorism and everything like that, yeah. And, Hamas has to be complete surrender. No weapons, no demilitarize everything, so they can make it easier for the settlers to come in and take their land. Basically, that's what they want. Uh, why no one's been surprised right now? They've been saying that the government, the people, their own party members, that even that crazy woman that says it, that she's number one in the movement, settlers, that it belongs to us, and the West Bank as well.
Of the Strip.
Israel's Security Cabinet has now approved Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's proposals for a full military takeover of Gaza City.
The Israeli Defense Forces say the first phase of the plan will see the evacuation of civilians before imposing a siege on members of Hamas still in the city. Chief Correspondent Richard Gatesford is here in the studio with us this morning. Richard, the UN has warned this move would have catastrophic consequences in Gaza. I mean, this is a situation that could get worse, not better.
Oh, that's certainly the forecast, Adil. And after 22 months now of people being forced out of their homes, moved by the military action around them, this new phase would displace around 1 million Palestinians who live in and around Gaza City, or what is left of it. It's reported that Israel's defense forces want these people evacuated from the city by October the 7th. That will be the second anniversary of the Hamas attacks in southern Israel. Well, as you can see from this map, large parts of Gaza, well, they're already under military control. The UN estimates around 75% of the strip is currently occupied. Now the IDF wants to push into the remaining quarter, which is Gaza City first, before trying to then establish full security control over the entire Gaza Strip, which would include these large areas down here, which are really displacement camps at the moment. But whilst these plans have been approved by many in Benjamin Netanyahu's right-wing cabinet, they are not universally liked in Israel. Thousands have been taking part in protests outside of the Prime Minister's office as the meeting took place. They believe the focus really should be on securing the return of hostages. Well, Israel's military chief, Eyal Zamir, has also raised his concerns, saying plans that were put to him could harm those hostages still being held, as well as potentially trapping some members of the IDF. Well, ahead of last night's meeting, Benjamin Netanyahu went on American television. It was asked about plans in the interview, and he said Israel maintaining control of Gaza isn't the real aim.
Will Israel take control of all of Gaza?
We intend to, in order to assure our security, remove Hamas there, enable the population to be free of Gaza, and to pass it to civilian governance. That is not Hamas and not anyone advocating the destruction of Israel.
Well, you can see from these pictures just how devastating Israeli attacks have been on Gaza since the October the 7th attack, and why aid organizations have been pleading with the Israeli government to achieve a ceasefire deal and allow more aid into the Strip. You now have some military analysts believing this latest development won't just extend the war by months, it will extend it indefinitely. It is a conflict in which the Hamas-run health minister says more than 60,000 have died already inside of Gaza. And this morning, UK's ambassador to Israel, Simon Walters, being quoted in an Israeli newspaper as saying this plan will be a huge mistake. It will only lead.
This plan is a part of the Great Israel Project. which I've been saying for a long time on my channel. And it's not me that's saying it. Netanyahu and his own party members are saying it. You know, I don't know. No one should be surprised at this moment. It's been 22 months and 22 months uh, and it's going on for a long time, and they've been saying this for over nearly 2 years now. You know, they leveled the whole playing field. They leveled everything so they can rebuild afterwards. It'll make it easier for them to rebuild. You know, instead of demolishing everything, it's already demolished by how many bombs they've been sending down. You know,
To more deaths.
And for any Israelis watching this right now, I want you to be clear. I want you to understand this, okay? Because others are very afraid. You know, I get the IDF sending me pictures of their weapons, talking about how they're gonna slaughter me. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you, okay? All the other cowards in American media, they can F off. They're not like me, I'm different. I'm not afraid of you, okay? So while you're cashing checks that are funded by my tax dollars and the tax dollars of my fellow Americans, I need you to understand something clearly. You are hated internationally, hated. Don't be mistaken based on the propaganda you hear in American media. That's not representative of how the American people feel about you. You're hated. And it's not because you're Jewish. It's because you slaughter innocent people. It's because you think you're God's chosen people when you act like absolute demons. That's the reality. The whole international community loathes you. Young American citizens in this country, both left and right, loathe you. And eventually, these are the people who are gonna come into power. So I think Israel's days are numbered as it pertains to America backing its disgusting, loathsome behavior, its war crimes.
you know, Anna's hit nailed in the head. You know what I mean? That Israelis are being hated on. Any Israeli watching this video, is this how you want to be remembered? You support your current government in the genocide. You know, a lot of people watching images, disgusting images of kids starving to death. Is that how you want to be remembered? You know, I suggest you put pressure on your government, tell him to free, get in the negotiation terms, free the hostage, leave the Gaza Strip alone, let the people do what they've been doing and help them rebuild. You know, they will get on with their lives. You know, you keep on bombing and getting the settlers to come in and dismantle the whole freaking aid. You know, it's unlivable right now. You know, you need to put pressure on your own government and do something as well.
It's slaughter of innocent people.
Were you ever worried? Because even before you spoke up, it was a hornet's nest of controversy. The idea of speaking up for, let's face it, Palestinian children after October 7th.
Yeah, I was worried, and I was worried that I'm not an expert in that area, but I knew that I'm an expert in child development. I have 2 masters in education. I've worked with children my whole life for 20 years. So I knew that what I was seeing was wrong. 0 to 3, the brain, it's such a critical time. If you're exposing children to trauma and malnutrition during that time, it can have effects for a lifetime. And I'm thinking about all those little ones who aren't getting that chance. And don't we as grown-ups in this world have a responsibility to give all children that chance? I don't believe that deep care and that responsibility ends at our own children.
I want to play a little video. It's a video of the brothers. I know you know this well, Maha and Malik, who posted this video.
Hello, Mr. Michel. How are you? Cinderella from Gaza.
Thank you for the love. I really appreciate that. I'm sending you love back.
Can you tell our story?
Okay, Miss Rachel, this obviously still brings you to tears.
I see them like I see my son, and the fact that they could have everything they need and it's miles away. It's so frustrating, and I just wish we could wrap them all up in love and give them everything they need, and we could. That's what's so painful. it moves me beyond words that I could bring a little bit of joy in the midst of unimaginable suffering, that I could be there for them during a genocide.
There has been a backlash to you. And of course, you've spoken out about the Israeli children, the infants and the toddlers who were wounded, who were kidnapped even on October 7th. And that doesn't seem to satisfy the critics.
I have so much empathy for an Israeli mom waiting for her child to come home. And I have so much empathy for the people of Gaza losing their families. I feel for everyone. And I know who I am. And I think the backlash, it's painful.
You know, Miss Rachel, she's such an angel. You know, she basically saying that any mother or any parent that sees these images, they're looking at their own children in their situation. Imagine if our children were in that situation, we would all do the same thing and we will speak out about it. You know, this is what Miss Rachel was saying, that, you know, at first she was like thinking, is this my field of expertise? And she said, no, you know, I have 2 masters in education, child development, and this isn't good for children. I mean, anyone, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that. No disrespect to Miss Rachel, but, you know, but I'm glad she's speaking out about this. Well, any parent who has kids know Miss Rachel and what kind of content she creates.
But then you have to be like, I know who I am and I know what's.
Come on. Sollte noch.
Seeing some civilians nearby. Do it.
Now, I'm gonna end the video there. As you see that on the last video, that, you know, if you haven't been boycotting them, it's time that you do so. You know, all the money that is going to Israel, they've been killing, you know, innocent people. You know, we've seen all the videos, the images now. You know, it's about time you take a step, you know, towards on the right side of history. And if you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum.